What's up, everybody? So today is the launch day for Marvel vs. Capcom, the Fighting Collection, and of course, we are going to be taking a look at this great collection that we have here. And the first thing that we're going to see is the main menu. So we're going to have here all kinds of different options to go through, and there's going to be 6 options. They broke down this menu very direct and simple and easy to navigate. So the first one we're going to see here is going to be offline play, so you're not playing on the internet. Second is online play, so you have to have a network and an internet connection to be able to play. Museum is going to have all of your art and music in it. So it says browse various art galleries and listen to the game soundtracks. In Fighter Awards, this is your personal stats and information. So it says you can view your in-game points, your in-game challenges, and play status. In options, that's where all of your settings are going to come in. So that is the options menu there. And quit is just closing the whole game entirely. So what we're going to do is head over to offline play first. And here we're going to see all the games. So there are 7 of them in total. And what we're going to see first is going to be up here. It's X-Men Children of the Atom. And of course, that came out in 1994. Then we're going to have Marvel Superheroes. And that came out in 1995. Then we're going to have X-Men versus Street Fighter, and that came out in 1996. Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter, and that came out in 1997. Marvel vs. Capcom, Clash of Superheroes. And this is the first of the Marvel vs. Capcom series. So that came out in 1998. Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And that is the New Age of Heroes, and that came out in 2000. And then the beat-em-up game is The Punisher, and that came out in 1993. The rest of these are fighting games. Now, if you look at the area where it says game on here, this is where the names of everything is also being shown, in addition to the cover art of the game itself, right? And then you can change the voice version in the game. So you can go English, you can go for Japanese voice. And you can do which players you have. Player 1 being one player, player 2 for the opposite side. So you have player 1 side and player 2 on the right. This is the offline version. So that's how you can do that. And then we'll ready one of them up here. So before we ready it up, while you're hovering over the game that you want to play, on the marquee on the bottom it says choose the game that you want to play. If you press start, you hit the training mode. If you hit X, you get the game specific settings. If you hit Y, you get controller button settings for button mapping. If you hit A, you can get to start the game, and B to go back. So what we're going to do is hit start. I think that's the start button. I might be wrong on if that's the start button or not on this. Let's see. All right, versus. Okay, right. So this is the training. This is the training mode. So what we can see here is, you have your team, and you can adjust what the levels are custom to what you want on the bottom there. And then you can see what your damage is and what your hitboxes are and hurt boxes. Now notice the whip does not have a hurt box because it's invincible, right? But her arm does. You see that little red box going around her arm? That means that it's vulnerable, right? And the green going around her means it's vulnerable, but the purple is active. And the red there. Switch. Very nice. That's a taunt. It's very cute. Okay, so if you hit start again, you can choose all kinds of different things. Now, you can take a look at the classic marquee card that was on the machine itself. You can look at the move list, and these are all of your character-specific moves here that you can pick and practice. Controller settings for what you want your buttons to be. And then this is when you get to your general settings for display and sound. And then you can switch the sides. Now remember, because people were saying, oh, you know, can't this have a full screen mode? Well, technically, this is full screen for CRT televisions, for CRT TVs. And back then, the monitors were CRT, right? And we were all used to that block square look. So this is very normal for that. These games were created with that in mind. The whole more landscape look is something that's a lot more recent than the classic CRT TVs. Now, if you want to, and this is something that they added in also, is there are filters to the game. So when you think about, you know, I'm going to take a picture of my face and I'm going to put a filter on it that makes it look like I have all kinds of pigment spots, big pigment spots on my face. But you can put a filter on to make all of that look like it's gone automatically, right? That's a filter. It doesn't mean it changes the appearance of things. So consequently, what happens is if you pick none, watch. Now see how nice and clear this is where it says player 1 pause? Now look. The game is very clear, right? Now, it still looks pixelated because it's a pixelated game. This game is from 2000, but notice how absolutely clear it is, right? It's very, very defined. Well, if you go down to type A, see? You're starting to get all the little tiny dots and everything of the CRT TV. There's a bunch of them. And now it's more pronounced here. So now it's getting even more. These are the TVs that, this is a look at the TVs that I'm used to. And this one, instead of it being little dots, it's little itty bitty squares. Oh my goodness. You know, it's so funny because I still have my CRT literally right here. It's huge. It's huge. It works perfectly. I just feel bad. I don't want to get rid of it, you know? Okay, type D. Okay, now, this one, the blocks have a little bit more of like a shadowy edging to them. So, they're tiny little squares, but they have more of that little edge. And the same here. Very neat. It's so amazing. And here for F. It's all the little squares again. CG. Oops. And G's a little bit more shadowy. Hey there. Can't tell a difference. An old school CRT also. Oh, you're gonna have to get rid of when you move. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, they're well made. They're really well made TVs. You really can't. H is the last one. Is that H? Wow, H put a filter on this where what they did was they grabbed the pixelated everything on here, they smoothed it, and then they made it more clear. Wow, that's interesting. See, there's G, F. Huh. Look at that. Very nice. I'll tell you what, H is really something. I mean, of course, this is more on what we're used to. You know, nowadays. But I don't mind seeing the other ones either, you know. Aw. I like it. I do. I think it's really well done. I think it's really well put together. I played it at Evo for a little bit, and you know, I thought it was really good there too. But here we get to really look into it more. There's a lot to uncover. Yeah, the filters I think was a really cute idea. Yeah, the brightness changes. It might be too because we're streaming, but if you look really close, let me see if I can find one that's where it's more pronounced. This is a good one. Okay, so if you look in the neon green stripes, like right here, it looks like little tiny rows of blocks. And that's what it is. Little tiny rows of blocks. Yeah. Very neat. Okay, I can't see them all. Yeah. We can definitely play. We can definitely play. Yeah, the old LCD panels. Yeah. It's cute. It's cute. I like it. So we'll put it back on A. That's what was in it to begin with here. And then, so then we can do training menu. And then you have all your different actions here. Stand, crouch, jump, record, play. Human. You know, computer. Spectate. How you would like your blocking to be. no blocking, automatic blocking, block absolutely everything, random, throw recovery, safe falls, advancing guard, and default settings. Health bar, if you want it to, go down naturally like how it should, or if you want it to auto recover or, be, natural, like normal. The bar at the bottom there, the hyper combo gauge, how you would like that to react to, just zip right back or, act like normal. And same thing with, the stun. You want stuns, you don't want any stuns, you want regular stuns, and then default everything. Then they go into the health bars. So same thing, how you want your health bar to react, how you want your hyper combo gauge to react. Oh, and stun, yeah. And then this is for your visuals. So do you want to see all of your attack data? Do you want to see the percentages in the frames? Do you want to see what buttons and motions that you're pushing? Do you want to see what the hit and hurt boxes are on there? And then network display. That's handy too. And then of course you have all your default options in there. And then it'll say, okay, do you want to, what stage do you want to be picked when you change your characters and everything? And then it gives you all your different options there. And then quit is at the bottom. Very nice. Try that again. Nope, wrong button.
Versus Capcom 2, New Age of Heroes.
Select your heroes. Select your assist type. Select your assist type. Select your assist type.
Oh, that's right. You have to pick your training people. Yeah, very, very neat. So, for this area, the key basically is... as the games have progressed throughout the years, we've gathered more access to different things, right? So we got access to better engines to help run these games and graphics and things like that. It's easier to process and run generally to run these games at higher level, right? So as this has been happening over the years, it became cleaner, and there was a lot more options involved. So what they tried to do was they grabbed everything that we have access to right now, and they said, you know what, we're going to take this and implement it and put it in on these classic games. And instead of grabbing one game at a time and doing it where you would say, okay, well, we're just going to do it on Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and Punisher, and that's it. Instead of people hoping that those specific games are going to sell, what they did was they did it as a group. And they said, okay, you know what, we're going to grab all these games and we're basically going to sort of remaster them. And we're going to give them all the current amenities in the training room and in the game that we have access to now. And it's very, 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 very handy, very helpful. You can definitely see the effects of the new training room right here with the hit and the hurt boxes. in addition to seeing the additional data on the side and the damage, which is fantastic. One thing that they added in too that does not affect the core of gameplay is the art and the music. That doesn't affect the game at all, except for just being visually pleasant, right? And the fact that these are from arcade machines. These are arcade games. So there's a lot of nostalgia at this point too, bringing these games to our houses. And then, okay, well, what did the classic machines look like? What was the art on the side? What did the marquee say? And they went and they grabbed that art and they input it into the game. So here is the marquee card. And this was on the arcade machine. And this is how people saw what the proper moves were for the game. And then there was big art on the sides. And then if you wanted to, you could go and change the music. In here, you can change the music because they added in a special area where you can have your music loaded and everything. In the arcade and the at-home consoles that were able to play these games, it was a bit different. But we do have more access to the sound and the art. So if you want to go specifically to look at more art or the game soundtracks, you go here to the museum. And gallery, then you pick which game you would like to see. And then you can go through it that way. And a lot of these are also the concept drawings for the game. Now, if you want to get into the music, then you go down here. And then you can check out the different songs. And pick which songs you'd like to hear and play them this way. Very neat. And it says shuffle is X, repeat is Y. So that is generally the offline area and the museum. We'll go into online. So in the online area, this means that you have to have access to the internet. And once you're logged into the internet, then these are your options. You can do casual matches. You can do ranked matches for points. You can do custom matches where you can have things specifically loaded in. Then you can see what the leaderboards are. And there is a high score challenge and a high score challenge leaderboard. So let's take a look at the ranked leaderboard. You can pick your game. And right now they're retrieving the data for that. Now here we are, because we played yesterday, and when we initially first went in, there was one person in there that had the #1 spot, and we couldn't get a match. But then we played 2 yesterday and won them both, and at that point, when we tried to get in, it was we were number 300 and some, and now we're at 1,726. So that's a considerable amount of people getting points. Oh, wrong button here. trying to see what the start button is for this. Oh, that's one at a time, huh? Oh, F1. No. It keeps pulling up Steam for some reason. I don't know why. I probably have it, oh, profile. Oh, shift. There we go. So it's going to be loading all the most current ranks. Oh, I see here. Alright, move 1000, move 100. Okay, so number one's Justin. Justin's number one with 14,956. Very, very good. Very, very good. Fnatic, we rated Fnatic last night. He has 5,845. You're gonna get his points. Yeah, Fnatic's very, very good. He played a song last night too, and it was very, very good. He's a musician also. Turtle Power. So, what makes all of this so special, right? What makes all of this so special? Well, number one, the game hasn't even been out for a full day yet. And we already have people with ranks in the high thousands, right? And 15,000 here for Justin, which is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. That means people are putting time in to this game. And if you look, yeah. Well, you can show them. Okay, so here we go. And trying to get back to one again. Getting there. Okay. Okay, we can't go any further, right? So what does this say on this screen here? It basically says that out of all the people, right? And that is, you know, remember, we're not even at 24 hours yet. The people that have gotten this game within the last 14 hours or so, over or at 3,066 people tried one ranked game. 3,066 people got into the game and they tried it and they tried a ranked game. Now, there are tons and tons and tons and tons of people that are interested in playing this and not interested in ranked, right? They want to play because they want to test it out at home. They want to play because they want to play against their friends or whatever. But this is a good number. This is a very good number here. And it shows interest. And one thing that has definitely been shown so far is when they announced Marvel vs. Capcom 2 Fighting Collection in the summertime, the retro locals had an increase in players. And people were going to the locals more, and they were excited for the game to come out. And now the game is here, and because it's such easy access to everything, because they had grabbed so much of the current things that we have access to now that they did not have access to back then, and they are making it accessible for everybody. So that means that these games, most likely some of the more popular ones, are going to be having more competition at tournaments online and offline. There's going to be more people entering in and feeling, you know, that they have a better chance, they can practice easier, and things like that, with a better training room and online with ranked, custom rooms, custom lobbies, and then of course you have offline, you can do whatever you like. But it's all very, very, very conveniently packaged for that. And I think it's going to definitely increase our numbers by a good amount.